So a while back I played through New Vegas as Marty the Mutant Man, and while I really liked that mod, it wasn't without its flaws. It required a load of additional mods to be installed, and when I said in the video that Marty couldn't use human armor without converting it at a workbench, what I meant was that Marty couldn't use human armor without it looking dumb as shit, because the armor works just fine, but it changes the part of Marty that is covered by it to a human model, and that looks awful. And then there were the details like getting stuck on the ceiling of buildings, and the mutants and the humans of the game not acknowledging Marty as a mutie. Overall, I'll give the mod a 6 out of 10, but my experience as Marty a 9 out of 10. With the video out, I thought my Mutant Man adventures were over. But then sometime after the video was released, I got a comment saying that there's a mod for Fallout 3 that's apparently way better, and the mod author themselves even swung by to let me know that it's good. And when the mod author of a thing swings by and asks you to look at a thing, you go look at the fucking thing. So that's what we're fucking doing. We're fucking playing Fallout fucking 3, and we're gonna go fucking be a fucking Mutant Man. Are you fucking ready? Let's get fucking into it. Let's fucking go. A man with the reddest hair the Waste has ever seen walks down a road. His clean, unmutated face suggests that he's a world dweller, and the 10-meter metal pistol on his hip and the tunnel snake jacket on his back all but confirms it. He thinks he's on a mission, but honestly, he can't quite remember. It all happened so fast. He was awoken by a friend, telling him that his father had left the world, something that he, up until this point, believed not to be possible. Within moments, he had been chased out of the vault. He had seen the sun, the outside. It was all so different. He was sure that he had a mission, but he wasn't sure what that mission was, so he just kept on walking. His name was Yorick, he knew that much. He had trouble collecting his thoughts in this invading outside world, and it seemed every time that he was on the cusp of figuring things out. He was assaulted by the horrors of the wastes, the kind of horrors that his teachers had warned him about. In the aftermath of a particular brutal assault by the horrors, he sought refuge in a nearby cave. To his surprise, the cave was inhabited by children. Yorick asked to be let in, but they refused. He asked if there was anything he could do to earn their trust, and the children told him that some of the residents had been kidnapped and taken to Paradise Falls, and that if Yorick could save them, he could come in. The children said this, thinking that it would be a suicide mission, and had they tasked any other soul in the wastes, they might have been right. But Yorick isn't like anyone else. He lacks purpose and understanding of the gravity of the task that he has agreed to perform. And nothing is more dangerous than a man who doesn't know he's in it. Yorick ran as fast to his destination as his feet could carry him. At the gates, he took out the guards and put on a disguise that he used to sneak into the camp. Inside, he waited for the right moment to strike, and when that moment came, he rained death on the slavers and then freed the slaves and sent them back to the camp they called home. Yorick returned with them, and he headed inside the place that he had risked his life to enter. But what now? Was his mission over? He had wandered the tunnels of Camp Little Lamplight, searching for another purpose, and tucked away in the very back of the camp, he found it. There was a door. It looked like a door he had seen before. It looked like a door from a vault. Yorick headed inside this familiar yet alien place, and inside he learned that unlike his own vault, which was full of people like him, this vault was full of other things, full of monsters. Monsters like the ones outside. This would be his new mission. Clear the place of monsters and make it his home. Maybe the children would even like to come here and live here as well. With each room that Yorick entered, green monsters would emerge and attempt to kill him, but he would kill them first. This repeated dozens of times, but as Yorick made his way into what he believed to be the final chamber, he was greeted by 3 of the monsters, and they didn't want to do him any harm. They greeted him and asked if he wanted to become one of them. This was the first time he had met anyone in this outside world that didn't want something from him. The exact opposite actually. These beings wanted to give him a gift, and it's rude not to accept gifts. So Yorick did just that. He accepted their offer. The beings led him into a room. He entered, he collapsed, and then he awoke. Now, he was different. He was one of them. And that is how you become a super mutant in mod Metamorphosis. I think the lead up to the transformation is pretty great compared to ST Terrible Mutants, though I definitely enjoy the ease of access that mod provides, letting the player start off as a mutant man from the get-go. But let's go through the rest of the main quest and see how the game reacts to Yorick the Mutant Man. Yorick headed to Megaton, and here the people were friendly enough. Sims was his old cherished self and greeted him and gave him a job. Moriarty was rude, but he's always rude, and the girl that he sent us to extort acted like she always does. Moriarty told us to go to the Galaxy News radio, and here, things got interesting. Neither the Brotherhood of Steel nor the Super Mutants aggro on Yorick, so getting into the DC ruins and getting through them was incredibly easy. And when the game required Super Mutants to be killed to progress, they turned into enemies and could be killed guilt-free. Inside, Three Dog said his usual stuff and pointed us towards Rivet City. And as we left the Galaxy News radio building, the Paladins that had just been friendly 3 minutes ago aggroed on Yorick and attempted to kill him. At this point, I sort of realized what was going on. The game does ally the player with the mutants and make the player enemies with the humans. However, during a quest it will suspend this, and for the most part, essential NPCs seems to have their hostility permanently suspended. Unfortunately, this suspension didn't work on Vargas or Lions, who despite being immortal, attacked Yorick, resulting in Yorick having to kill their friends in front of them, knock them unconscious and then run away far enough to be able to fast travel. Getting to Rivet City was incredibly easy. It's supposed to be a trek through hell due to the super mutants present, but because they're not aggressive, the hell trek becomes a lazy stroll through a boring looking landscape. And from Rivet City to the Purifier, where that is supposed to be, is another lazy stroll through a boring landscape because of that very same reason. In general, the game is pretty easy since super mutants are the most present enemy in the game, and allying the player with them puts the game in an easier than easy mode. At the Purifier, Yorick found Dad's holotape and learned of the location of Vault 112 and headed there. And like the 3 other locations so far, he just strolled past a bunch of peaceful muties. But at the vault, I ran into a problem. Yorick is a mutant. Mutants can use human clothing, and this quest requires Yorick to put on a Vault 112 suit and hop into a sleep pod. And then it fucking hit me. I was supposed to have done this part before turning into a mutant. You're not supposed to quick save load through the door at lit lamplight like I always do. Fuck. I tried to go back to Vault 87 and pull the fire alarm to spawn the Enclave to kidnap Yorick, but they didn't show. I tried going back into the gag room and retrieving the gag that I already had to trigger the quests, but it didn't take. I then got Fox to go retrieve the non-existent gag, which he magically did, in the hopes that it would reboot the quest. But that didn't work either. Acknowledging that it was my own damn fault that I fucked the quest, I reloaded a save that I made prior to Yorick becoming a mutant. And he's not a mutant anymore, but he sure as shit isn't human either. What the fuck? But the silver lining is that he can put on human gear, which means that we can go back to Vault 112, do the quest right, and then hopefully trigger the Enclave assault at Vault 87. Apparently this is not Yorick's final form, as he morphs in front of our eyes while entering the sleeping pods at Vault 112 and becomes the Grinch. Inside the simulation, Yorick did a few tasks for the creepy little girl and then learned of the kill switch and used that to free himself and then free Dad. What followed was a touching reunion that I slapped my way past as fast as I humanly possibly could to get on with the show. And what followed was the longest quest I have ever gone on. Walking from the vault to Rivet City with Dad. The entire walk took 2 hours, as we had to stop every 2 minutes to fight off whatever mosquito was bothering us, and every 3 minutes so Dad could figure out where the fuck we were going. And yeah, normally you can just fast travel to Rivet City because you've already been there. But let's be real. What usually happens is that you fast travel to Rivet City, then wait 24 hours for Dad to show up, then wait another 24 hours, then figure out something is wrong, then wait another 24 hours because you never know, then enter the Rivet City interior, wait another 24 hours to see if that helps, then exit Rivet City and wait another 24 hours just to be perfectly sure that he isn't gonna show up. Then load a save and wait another 24 hours just to be perfectly clear that he isn't gonna show up. And then curse the game because the marker shows that he's halfway between the Vault 112 and Rivet City, and you only have those 2 waypoints. So what you have to do is fast travel to Vault 112, then follow Dad's trail, then find him fighting off a rat scorpion while unarmed, which you then help him with and end up escorting him all the way to Rivet City so it doesn't happen again. I hate this fucking quest and this fucking game so much sometimes. Most of the time. Anyways, at Rivet City we of course get told to go to Project Purity, and to get ready for that, Yorick stopped by some shops to get some supplies and took a nice healing snooze before heading there. When Yorick finally showed up at Project Purity, it looked like there had been a murder party going on, and there were mutant body parts strewn all over the place. But then Dad told me that none of the scientists were fighters and that Yorick needed to go take care of the mutants inside. So I guess the ones outside got ripped to shreds by a really strong wind or something. And also, Dad fucking killed a rat scorpion with his bare hands, so what's he going on about? Oh well. Inside, Yorick cleared out the mutants and then Dad sent him on a riveting quest to go press 3 buttons in a very large and very empty facility. Then the Enclave showed up when he got back to the reactor, and Dad got killed. And Yorick, together with the city scientists, made a daring escape through the sewers where Yorick killed some more mutants. Arriving at the Citadel, Yorick is told that he needs to go find a gek and that there is a gek in Vault 87, which is in Murder Pass, which is in Little Lamplight. I guess this means that the magically sealed door that I usually just glitch my way through is now magically open. Have I mentioned that I fucking hate this game sometimes? Like, the amount of plot convenience is off the fucking charts and it just yanks you out of the experience harder than one of those badly made sex robots yank a dick.
Help me!
Inside Murder Pass, Yorick makes the place live up to his name, and he murders everyone there. Then murders everyone in Vault 87, pulls the fire alarm, frees Forks, and then breaks the Metamorphosis quest. I reloaded, killed everyone in Vault 87, pulled the fire alarm, started the Metamorphosis quest, entered the gek chamber, and died. I reloaded, pulled the fire alarm, started the Metamorphosis quest, entered the gek chamber, and died. I reloaded, pulled the fire alarm, started the Metamorphosis quest, waited until the fucking quest text probably updated, and then I entered the gek chamber and became a super mutant, meaning that I was back to the point that I was 6 hours ago. And then this happened. When I went into the chamber where the Enclave is supposed to kidnap you to activate the next part of the quest, the quest didn't activate, and when I looked at my quest log, it was already completed, and inside the gek chamber, the gek was gone. So, I went back to the Citadel to talk to someone that would give me a new main quest so I could continue the journey. But I can't do that, because what is supposed to happen is that I'm supposed to get a quest from President Eden, which I have to turn in with Elder Lions, and that will trigger the final quest in the game. However, I can't get into Raven Rock to get the quest from President Eden, so the game is essentially soft-locked. Sure, I could do side quests probably, but that's not what I'm here to do. So I guess you can't beat Fallout 3 as a super mutant. At least not with the Metamorphosis mod. So that was a run, or at least the attempt at one. Well, I thought this mod initially introduced some neat stuff. I feel that it comes with more caveats and bugs than the one in New Vegas. Sure, in New Vegas a mutant man can put on whatever armor he wants and it looks stupid. But it's playable and features a more functional reputation system overall. The reputation system in this mod is that the mutants aren't enemies and that's about it. On top of that, I had to deal with a lot of technical stuff. The quest is incredibly wonky, and it doesn't become doable until halfway through the game. I initially kept dying over and over while entering the gek chamber, because there's apparently a part of the plugin that needs to be disabled when the plugin is installed, but I didn't see any of that during the installation. And that's not all. After becoming a mutant, I had to go into another plugin folder and alter a few values to make the mutant's hands not be wonky. And there's a lot more stuff, like movement being wonky and jerky, the mutant's heads and arms being weird, and the mutant not feeling like a big strong mutant. But I think the true downfall of this mod is that it is a Fallout 3 mod. Like, if this was released for New Vegas, I could probably forgive the wonky quest, but it's not. It's trapped within the confines of this boring linear shitshow that punishes the player for daring to play the way they want. And I absolutely fucking hate magically locked gates and NPCs that wouldn't give me the next quest in a chain until the player has ticked off all the imaginary boxes required. And this game has this in fucking spades. Oh well, it was at least nice to go back and reaffirm that this game is a shitshow. We'll play something more fun next time. Until then, bye bye.